From the Library of Congress in Washington, D.C.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the 15th Annual National Book Festival. Isn't this a wonderful day to celebrate books? Books are alive and well. My name is Tim Smith. I work for Book World at the Washington Post. The Post is a charter sponsor of the National Book Festival, and no one today has told me to break a leg. Tad Hills is the author of several best-selling picture books, including Duck and Goose, about two birds who must learn to get along. Duck and Goose have taken their place alongside Frog and Toad and George and Martha as fine examples of friendship, curiosity, and problem-solving, one reviewer noted. He's beloved by kids, parents, and teachers for his Rocket the Dog series, about a scruffy puppy learning to read and write. His latest book is R is for Rocket, in which our furry fellow learns his ABCs. It gives me great pleasure to present to you Tad Hills.
Thank you. Thanks very much. It's really great to be here. You can all hear me. I actually sound very loud to myself, but I'll get used to it. I like to start out my presentations with a couple knock-knock jokes from a book I did a long time ago. I didn't write all these jokes, but I did do all the illustrations. You can't hold me responsible for the jokes, okay? But I hope you laugh. It's a good way for me to warm up the crowd. So here we go. You guys can help me, okay? Knock, knock. Ken. Can you hear me? And the little mouse says, of course I can. I'm right here. Okay, knock, knock. Anita. Anita Bath. She says, I'll help. Okay, one more. Knock, knock. Sid. Sit down, you're rocking the boat. And she says, help. So that's knock, knock, who's there? I've done a lot of Duck and Goose books, and I've done some Rocket books. I'm going to read R is for Rocket in a little while. I wanted to show you guys this book. This is called Duck and Goose, How Are You Feeling? It's about emotions. And I like to show this to kids because it's a good way for me to explain what I do as the illustrator. Now, what does the illustrator do? Draws the pictures, right? The author writes the stories, and the illustrator draws the pictures. So in this book, there's one word on each page. This word happens to be hopeful, so I've drawn a picture to describe the word hopeful. So Duck and Goose have found a little sprout. A seed has sprouted, and they are hopeful. They're hoping that that will grow to be a big tree or a beautiful flower, right? So what I've done is taken some pictures from that book, and I've made them bigger, and I've taken the word away. So you can't read how they're feeling. You have to tell me by looking at their picture how they're feeling. How are they feeling? Happy, exactly. Butterflies and flowers. How about this one? This is a harder one. Angry? Yes, angry. They had an argument, I think. And how about this one? Scared. Now, how about this one? Sad. Right. Lonely, exactly. And Duck is sad. And now, look at this picture carefully and tell me, raise your hand, don't yell out. I'll call on you. Tell me one thing you see in this picture that tells you that Duck is sad. What do you see? Rain. Yeah, those are dark rain clouds. Exactly. They're not happy clouds. They're gloomy. Yeah?
He wanted to make the seed grow, but the flowers are not up there.
The flowers look sad. Exactly. They're droopy. Right? Good one. Right, he's all alone, he's lonely, he's wondering where Goose is. And his head is down. You guys are good. Yes, there's a lot of things. Is he walking slowly or fast? Exactly. And his little wing is down, so he looks like there's a lot of details that make him look sad, right? So that's what the illustrator does. They draw pictures to help tell you what's going on with the words. Thank you. Like I said, I've done a lot of Rocket books. And Rocket, I don't know if you know, I have a dog at home. a very cute dog. And do you know what his name is? Exactly. He inspired my Rocket books. And this is when he was about 9 weeks old. And he has since grown up. He's about he is 8 years old now. Here he is in the wind. And he inspired a whole bunch of books. And I am going to read this one for you. This is the latest. It's called R is for Rocket. It's an ABC book. In the first one, How Rocket Learned to Read, he learned to read. And the second one, Rocket writes a story, he writes a story. And in this one, he and his friends are practicing the alphabet, which is very important. The wondrous, mighty, gorgeous alphabet, right? And I'll show you one thing that's really pretty cool about this, actually. Hold on one sec. Is this book. In this book, there is, if you open it up, there is, inside the jacket, an alphabet. So it's a poster, so you can put it on your wall and practice, all right? It's a little bonus. So here we go. You guys can help me out, because I'm sure that a lot of you know your alphabet. I'm sure a lot of you are reading. Some of you aren't reading yet, which is good. Before you know it, you will be. So here we go. We start with A. The alphabet is great. It's a great book. It's great to write a book about the alphabet because you know how it ends, right? So Rocket and his friends have fun learning the alphabet. Rocket finds acorns. Acorns begins with A. Owl draws an angry alligator. Now B. Bella balances on a ball. And while a big blue butterfly watches. Yeah, you recognize that ball? That's Duck and Goose's egg, right? Owl offers a cookie and a crayon to a crow. Now will you stop cawing? She asks. Okay, here's D. These are D words. Emma digs a deep hole in the dirt near the daisies, exactly. In the evening, Emma finds an egg. Fred frolics with fireflies in the field. Okay, this is G. Nobody sees Goose in the tall green grass. Rocket finds a hat on a hill and puts it on his head. It makes him happy, right? Bella, these are I words. Bella plays in the ivy. It's not a good idea. It makes her itch. It's poison ivy. Watch out for the poison ivy. Owl jumps for joy. She loves to fly kites. Okay, here's a lot of L words. A ladybug lands on a leaf and listens to Rocket read a letter from Larry. Everybody wants to know who's Larry. He's a friend who had to move out of town, and so they communicate writing letters. And in the letter, he writes, "Dear Rocket, have you read any good books lately? Love, Larry." Here's M. A mouse on a mushroom shares his milk. N. The waves are noisy. They make Owl nervous. This is O. Owl is afraid of the ocean. But not Bella. Bella likes the water. P words. Rocket paints a picture of a peacock. Owl prefers her pumpkin. Here's cute. It is quiet. An owl is cozy under her quilt. She falls asleep quickly. Well, see, I already used quiet there, so. R. Rocket rests by the river in the rain. This is S. Bella sits on a stump. I'm glad I have this sock, she says. Here we go. Rocket's teacher, that's the little yellow bird, his teacher. Rocket's teacher sees two tiny turtles. Are you twins, she asks. They're not twins, they're cousins, but they look very much alike. Unfortunately, Mr. Barker can't fit under the umbrella. This is Bella's way up there. Bella climbs a vine to get a better view. Those are V words. And Rocket wonders, is it windy up there? Those are W words. Right? And here we go. Z. There are not a lot of Z words. But xylophone is one of those that you may come upon. Bella plays the xylophone. It's made out of wood. You are a wonder. These are Y words. You are a wonder, the little yellow bird yells from across the yard. You play with zest and zeal. Those are Z words. Ah, the wondrous, mighty, gorgeous alphabet. The end. So, that is R's for Rocket. I wanted to do something, a fun little thing that you can do with letters. One thing that is hard when you're a writer is hard to come up with ideas of stories to write about. Do you ever have that experience? Well, I do. And I think a lot of other authors do also. So I wanted to show you something that is a good way to come up with ideas for things to write about, to come up with characters. So do you, okay.
I'll take it.
Hold on one second. So could I have a volunteer? You don't have to do much. It's pretty easy. Do you know your letters? Can you draw your letters? Yes? Okay, come on up. Okay. Oh, there you are. Okay. What is your name? Emily. And what's your last name begin with? Emily. What's her last name? C. Okay. So how about this? You write. Can you reach up here? Here, I don't want you to fall off the stage, but make a really big E. Okay. Get a little bit closer to the, just a little bit in front. Okay. Now I'll hold you so you won't fall. Make a really big E and then a really big C. Excellent. All right. Good job. Okay, now you can go down there and watch, okay? So sometimes when I don't have any ideas of things to write about or characters to write about, I draw little squiggles on paper, or I'll write random letters on a page, and then I look at those and I think, what does that look like? And then I make it into something. And sometimes I end up with characters that I can then write a story about. So here we go. Here is, maybe this is a guy wearing a hat, and he is looking. See, he's looking at, let's see, he's got a bow tie on. He's looking over here at you tell me what this is. Yeah. He's looking at the elephant over here, the very shy elephant, shy but friendly, right? And the elephant has a tail. So now Now I can write a story about an elephant and a man with a bow tie, right? So before I didn't have any ideas in my head to write about, now I do. So you can do that. You can do that with your initials. You can do it with numbers, anything. And it's really fun to look at letters and numbers, not only as letters and numbers, but as shapes that can inspire other ideas, okay? Now another thing that I really like to do is I'm going to show you guys how to draw duck, okay? So this is Duck from Duck and Goose. Well, it doesn't look like duck, but it is. And I'm going to show you how easy it is to draw duck because he's just a whole bunch of very simple shapes that you put together like a puzzle, okay? And you guys can help me out. So this is a very simple shape. It's a circle. And what do we use that for? His head. Exactly. So we'll put that there. How about this? His body. Now, what does this look like besides a duck's body? A lemon, yeah? What? Lips, yeah, big smile maybe, or a frown? A leaf, yes. A mustache, yes. A tail, definitely. What? It looks like a feather, yeah. Yes? A beak, yeah. How about up in the sky at night? The moon, maybe? Yeah? A wig? Oh, a hairdo? Oh, a wing. Oh, okay, I thought you said a wig. How about a beard? Or how about a banana? How about a banana that swallowed a grapefruit? Or how about a grapefruit who's going to a Halloween party dressed as a banana? What do you think? A ponytail, yes, definitely. Well, it looks like all those things, and it also works pretty well as his body. So here we've got a couple legs, long, skinny rectangles. And what about this? Beak? We'll try it as a beak. So feet, yeah, I think you're saying feet. A lot of birds have pointy beaks. In fact, Rocket's teacher, the little yellow bird, has a little triangular beak like that. So if you want to draw her, that's her. But duck, they're webbed, triangular feet, exactly. So here, we'll use this as his beak instead, okay? Here's his beak. There we go. And he needs an eye. Yeah, it's a little eye. And then you need to know where he's looking. So you put this right there. And he is looking at you guys. And then what about this? Exactly. This is the eyebrow. And you put this over his eye. And when you do, he comes to life. It's like he's going to jump down and walk around. Look at that. Right? So you can have a lot of fun with that eyebrow, moving it around his forehead. You know, maybe he's worried, or maybe he's confused. He could be surprised, like that. He could be angry, or if you want to make him even angrier, go like this, tilt his head down like this, and there he is. That's a very angry duck. And if you want to make him sad, you can, you use that little line as an eye. So maybe he's just taking a nap. It's not sad. Although ducks do get sad. This is like magic, though. If you see he's sad here, if you tilt his head back like this and stick his nose up in the air, bam. See, now he's not sad anymore. He's happy. He's proud. He smells something really tasty cooking in the oven, like a cherry pie, right? Or he's just hanging out in the sun. So that is how we make duck. And now I'm actually going to really quickly draw a picture of duck so that you can see that it is really easy, and it's something you can do in your own time. So I draw a circle for his head, right? There's Round circle. He's got a little neck. Then he's got a body that's shaped like a lemon or a pigtail, a ponytail, a banana that swallowed a grapefruit. And then he's got a long, skinny leg here, right? And then a triangular foot, and then another one, another leg back here, and another foot. And then he's got a beak, looks like a popsicle. And then he's got an eye, big eye. He's surprised. He's surprised to see so many people in the audience. It's nice. And then he needs an eyebrow. That's very important. And besides the eyebrow, the other very important thing is to give him something to stand on. So give him some grass or sand or water. You don't want him floating around. Marshmallow, he can be standing on marshmallow, exactly, very good idea. And then I paint him with yellow paint. And you guys can paint your duck any color you want. It's up to you, right? You can paint him purple or striped, or you can paint him black, brown, gray, polka dotted, any color. It's up to you, because when you're the artist, that's your decision. Okay? And so while I'm painting, I'm wondering if anybody has questions they want to ask me. Do you guys have questions? Anybody? Any questions about my books or about what I do as an author and an illustrator? Yes, you have a question? Why did I decide to be a children's author? Well, that's a good question. I really like stories, and I really like to draw, and so it seemed like a very good combination. It seemed like a really good thing for me to do. And I'll show you something. When I was little, this is a book that I wrote when I was about 7 years old. It's called The Lion and the Mouse, and I wrote it. It took me about 3 weeks to write, and it's about 35 pages long. And this is the first page. It's a copy of the first page. I found it in my mother's basement, and the original smells like mildew, so I made a copy of it. But this is, I worked really hard on this, and I wrote it, and I illustrated it, and then I made this cover, and I stapled it together, and I gave it to my parents as a present, and they really loved it. They were so proud of me. They loved the story. They loved the pictures, and I was really proud of myself. It was really fun for me to do. It was a fun project, and that, I think, is why I write and illustrate kids' books today, because it's a fun, really fun job. So, and it makes me think that maybe in years to come, maybe 20 years from now, I could go to a bookstore or a library and pull a book off a shelf, and it could be written by one of you kids or one of you parents, even. So, if you like to write and draw, think about it. Okay? Yes?
How did you become so good at painting and drawing?
How did I become so good at painting and drawing? Well, I practiced, because I used to do it when I was a kid. When I was your age, I did it a lot. I really liked to do it. And when you do something over and over and practice, you get better and better, right? So, yeah?
Was Rocket a dog like you had when you were a little boy?
When I was little, I had a golden retriever named Gulliver. Rocket is a Wheaten Terrier. So he's very sweet like my dog Gulliver, but he's not the same kind. Okay. Yeah?
Why did you decide to make so many of like Duck and Goose books and Rocket books?
Well, why did I decide to make so many Duck and Goose and Rocket books? Well, once you create some characters, you think about what they can do. You think about other stories, and exciting things that can happen to them. And so that's really why. You think about the fun they could have, and so then you write stories about that. They're sort of like my kids, Duck and Goose and Rocket, because I created them and I want them to have fun. Right? One more? Yeah.
Why do you like
Why do I like
to draw?
to draw? That's a good question. I've always liked it because it's fun. I like to make pictures of things that I see and things from my imagination. It's a good question. It's hard to explain why somebody likes to do something sometimes. Do you like to draw? Yeah? Well, it's good. I hope you guys do. I hope you draw a lot, and I hope you read a lot of books and write stories. It's really important, okay? One more question? Are my books all over the world? They are. A lot of these books have been translated into different languages, like Japanese and Chinese and German and French and Spanish. So yeah, they are. Okay, maybe one more question, okay? Wait a second, you already asked a question. Sorry. Yes. What is my favorite book that I have written? I think my favorite book used to be Duck and Goose, where they find the egg in the middle of the field. But then I wrote How Rocket Learned to Read, and it's based on my dog, Rocket, who I love, and I really like the story. I like that he learns to read, and so I think that might be my favorite. But I would never tell Duck and Goose that. You know? Okay. Well, thank you guys. I think my time is up, and I really appreciate you coming, and I hope you have fun today.
This has been a presentation of the Library of Congress. Visit us at loc.gov.